Hi, I'm Pippa, and I have to admit something. Even though I'm really content to be here at home fermenting and knitting, I'm a nerd. I love ideas and fantasy and science fiction novels. Earlier in my career, I was part of a team making video games, and I've worked in the open source software community as well as teaching in many different contexts. I've studied information science, adult education, and more recently permaculture and climate change adaptation. It might seem like this really practical kimchi and kombucha making side of me has nothing to do with the Wizard of Earthsea, open web, sustainable energy and passive houses or how people learn, but I want to let you in on a permaculture secret. Everything is connected. Understandings from computer programming have helped me grow permaculture just as much as watching the interactions with my worm farm. Permaculture emerged in the decade after the publication of Rachel Carson final book, Science Spring, and the Club of Rome report on the limits of growth. These books were a wake-up call to many in the post-war Western world that yes, everything was connected. Pesticides were decimating ecosystems, and continued economic growth and related variables like energy demand and pollution were leading us towards climate change and reduced conventional fossil fuels or peak oil. Rachel Carson wrote about ecology, and the limits to growth researchers used computer models to think about the interactions of economics and population. Both of these important publications were examples of systems thinking, which both motivated and influenced the origins and continued development of permaculture. Over this course, you'll hear us all talk about systems, whole systems, our design systems, and systems thinking. You can see systems thinking included in the tree diagrams shown earlier in this module as a component of or influence on permaculture. Often though, I like to describe permaculture in general as a systems thinking and doing tool for normal humans. A system is a group of things which interact together to produce a whole. For example, my worm system is a whole made up of worms, microbes, and other small creatures like Calembula, whose interactions from my perspective turn food scraps into soil amendment. Well, not always. Sometimes things happen to make the system perform differently, like the time I added too many coffee grounds and everything got way too acidic. Systems thinking is about understanding how and why systems behave the way they do, and applied systems thinking is using those understandings to work out appropriate ways of intervening in the system. Systems thinking is also about acknowledging that our view and experience of a system is only one perspective, and that considering other perspectives has values for our understanding and practice. While I might be initially interested in the worm farm as a waste management tool, for the worms and their neighbouring creatures, it is habitat. So I added coffee, and 2 days later the worms were pale and bloated. What unseen effects took place in between and to the other creatures? Now, just in case you ever have the same problem, ground up eggshells will help neutralise the acid. Now, whole systems are nested and overlapping. While I might not be an immediate neighbour in my worm farm system, I still identify as the part who puts in food scraps, maintains moisture levels and tries to prevent pests. My worm farm is part of my apartment waste management system, which interacts with my window box garden system, the food system, and the broader waste management system in the city. My partner and I are each complex whole human systems of body and mind who interact with the worm farm, with each other, and bigger social and economic systems. As a systems thinker and permaculture practitioner, I also consider the bigger picture in the short, medium, and long term. Now, I'll be working with you in a later module on designing for resilience. But before I finish, I want to leave you with a quote by Donella Meadows, one of the original contributors to the Limits of Growth report. Systems can't be controlled, but they can be designed and redesigned. We can't surge forward with certainty into a world of no surprises, but we can expect surprises and learn from them and even profit from them. We can't impose our will upon a system. We can listen to what the system tells us and discover how its properties and our values can work together to bring forth something much better than could ever be produced by our will alone. We can't control systems or figure them out, but we can dance with them. Have fun. I hope you enjoy permaculture.